How's it going, everybody? I'm just sitting here watching the live chat, letting all those new special effects go by that I've been working on for the past couple of hours since I've gotten home. I've had a rather busy day today, and I didn't really quite get all the special effects that I wanted to be able to put together tonight, but I was just getting a little too excited for what tonight's going to be. Um, we are here to celebrate me after 3 years acquiring over 75,000 subscribers. Those of you that have been with me since the beginning, if I remember correctly, I think I did a giveaway at my first 100 subscribers. And then I did a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. And then I did a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. And I actually thought I was just going to keep doing powers of 10 to go along with that. So after 10,000, I thought I was going to do 100,000. But I noticed that there was a significant uh, drop in progress after getting 10,000. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do another giveaway at 25,000, which I did. And then I did another giveaway at 50,000. And I think I even had some challenge giveaways to where like I did a spot shot one pocket challenge, and I had a giveaway to go with that. I did a collaboration giveaway with Nate from the Q It Up Network during his Battle of the Sexes virtual 9-ball virtual 10-ball ghost tournament, and I think that's all of them. And so here we are to celebrate 75,000 subscribers, and I just have to tell you, like, I don't know how to even describe like how I got here. I knew I was going to do this just as a hobby. Like, this was just something I wanted to do for fun on the side, on top of all the other hobbies that I had. I wanted my channel to be about fitness related stuff because I 3 years ago I was actually a lot more physically active than I am now. That's why the beginning of the first couple of YouTube videos that I had on my channel were just me doing some fitness challenges with my best friend. And then, since y'all know that I'm a software developer, I wanted to do some basic computer programming lessons. And so there's like 4 or 5 of them on my channel. But then when I finally started producing the pool related content, because I'm a pool player as well, that pretty much took over the channel because everybody loves my pool related videos, whether it's a pool lesson, my APA league matches, or just whatever I happen to come up with that helps people get better at the game of pool, help them understand whatever difficulties they might be struggling with, and help them get past the whatever struggles that they're dealing with. And since then, I've pretty much laid rest everything else that I was going to have about my channel, which was the fitness and the computer programming, and it's just been nothing but pool. And here we are. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. All I could say is thank you, and that's why I do the giveaways. I am monetized on YouTube, and that extra money that extra income that I have just helps go turn my YouTube channel into what I have today. I mean, if you go back and look at my old videos, you'll see like the huge difference in video quality, the huge difference in audio quality, and then of course my presentation. Um, you know, I, I look back at some of my old videos and kind of see like how robotic I kind of sound, or I guess how professional I try to sound. And then as the time has gone by, I've just like become more myself when I'm sitting in front, when I'm standing or sitting or standing in front of the camera. And I think that's kind of natural. I think I've seen basically a lot of YouTube channels that basically go through that. So, man, I really don't. I have no words. I kind of feel like I'm rambling. I don't know what we're really going to do tonight. We can do just a little bit of everything tonight. So I don't even know how long I'm going to live stream. It's the weekend. I might be limited to 4.5 hours before my Bluetooth microphone gives out. And then you start hearing this giant echo because I'm here in my garage. But at the very least, I did say that we were going to review the items that are in my poison package giveaway. And then so what we do after that, I'm actually going to leave it up to y'all. If you want me to play some 8-ball, I'll play some 8-ball. If you want me to play some 9-ball, I'll play some 9-ball, 10-ball, straight pool, whatever. We're just gonna have some fun. If you want me to try to demonstrate something like I did on the that ghost ball video that I just posted, all I did was find that little segment in one of my previous live stream, clipped it out, tagged it, or put it in an intro and an outro, and then just published it out there for people to see. That way, they don't have to try to fish through it to find it through the live stream. And so if there's something that you want me to try to demonstrate live, so that way you can see me mess up, because I'm more than likely will not be able to do it on the first try. So it'll be more like a real thing to show that not only do the things that I teach work, but they have to work if me as the shooter does everything correctly, because it's the tools that I use. And of course, I want to make sure that I have to be able to at least hopefully explain well enough what you're wanting me to hopefully teach. I mean, I don't know all of the the in-depth sciences of the game like maybe Dr. Dave would, but I can hopefully just explain it in such a way that just makes sense. I mean, that's pretty much what I've been good at. Now, I want to see who all is here because I see that I already have over 90 people in here and I haven't even hit a ball yet. And that is just freaking amazing. So I see at the very top, we have Craig. He wants to know if I can play some 10-ball after we do everything. Like I said, that is a high possibility. Old Man Ferguson, Alan Bradley. I am going to go down the line here. 100% Bow Hunter, Cal Patty 15, Bob Kemp, Trash Panda Gaming, Tim Hogan, Ranger Danger, Muhammad, how you doing, man? Tim Z, how's it going? Loping CSF, Aaron Walter, Shane O'Mac, Jesse Ellis, Ren De Vera, Adrian Villalobos, Cecil Freeman, Aaron Walters, Anthony Weisenet, good to see you again. Mike Coleman, Domenico Calise, I hope I said that correctly. Eric Court, AJ Luther, 723, Jesse Soto, Ryan Harmson, how's it going, man? Ron Connor, Mike Martinez, Ron Johnson, Ron Connor, Eric Court. Like I said, just plenty of wonderful people. I hope I'm not skipping anybody as I scroll down because sometimes when your name pops back up again, I have to think, did I already say their name? I'm not sure. Let's see. John Rice, Eric Court, Jeff Bernacki. I hope I said that correctly. Aaron Walters, Cue Ball Control sometimes. Alex Marino. Jesse Martin, Rod Connor, Jesse Ellis, Aventure America. Jacob from World of Pool and Billiards. Good to see you, man. Mike Coleman, Ron Connor, Todd Elston, AJ, Tally of Cali Nightlife and Dad Life. Good to see you, man. Wheelhouse Whiskey. Jabaroo Journey, Dart Guy. Les Johnson, how's it going? Jesse Soto. Like this name, who cares? Well, you should. That's an awesome YouTube name. Alex Mills, Kevin F. Anthony Gomez. Seth White, how you doing, man? Jim Stone. I think I said Wheelhouse Whiskey, but I'll just go ahead and say it again. Pamela Reed, Mr. Edit 1. How's it going, Darren? Billy Todd. Okay, I think all of these have been repeated. Wayne Burba, how you doing, man? Terrence Levine. Yami. Infernal Blaze. And, oh gosh, I just hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Felipe Vasquez. Mr. Y Shot. AJ, another AJ from Kickshot Pool Gear. Mike Coleman, Philip Todd, Ryan Rent, Irvin Simmons, Chad Kendaris, Tim Crumley, how you doing? Goodness gracious, like the list goes on and on. I do apologize if I forgot if I forgot to mention anybody's name. Now, here's the thing though. Let me do this. Here are all the items that I'm going to be giving away in this video. Or I'm not giving them away like right now, as of this minute. If you were with me on previous live streams, the way this is going to work is that when this live stream is over, I will obviously have it released so that way it's public. And so all of y'all that are in here when this live stream is over and you can actually comment on the video, you need to go and comment on the video. Obviously, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that your subscription list is public, because I'm going to let this video sit for either a couple of weeks, maybe a month at the most, so that way people can do all their commenting and stuff after that. And then after that, that's when I'll do another live stream, most likely from my office, and then actually select the winner. So we have a 2x4. Yes, this is a 2x4. So hopefully you will be able to see. There we go. This is a 2x4 poison hard case. It's even still got some of the styrofoam padding in here, so that's how brand new it is. I haven't taken anything out of it. So you've got pockets here on the side, and I think this is a slot here for the if you have a dedicated jump cue. This one is actually kind of cool because it has these two front clasps, where I'm used to just seeing one single clasp on a case. So you can see right here, hopefully, this stuff right here. So I think that's pretty cool. Single shoulder strap. So not like a JB case where you actually have the backpack double strap. So this one's only a single. But as I mentioned, it's a 2x4 hard case. And if we want to get into the particulars about it, let me see here, because I have all this stuff pulled up and ready to go. Let's see here, because I think currently, actually, that case that they have is actually out of stock. And did they take it off their website? I think they did. They did take it off their website. Man. Let me see if I can find it again. Give me just a second. I'll come back on camera. So yeah, I guess they took it off their actually, you know what I can do? I can try to find it this way. Yeah, here's what I'll do though. I'll turn this back on so you can see my wonderful face as I search for what I'm looking for here. Because I want to make sure that you all know exactly what you're getting. So I think this is the link. Is it available? It is available. Okay, so let's see if I can do this now. So if I do this, there is the Poison Q web page, and this is the actual case that I'm going to be giving away. So hopefully I have the zoom level at a level at which you can actually read it on the live stream. So you can see this has been currently marked down from 169 to 143.65, but it's currently out of stock, so I have one. So here's some pictures that they have of how everything can look. So I was right. This is, if you had a dedicated jump cue, that's where this would go for the side pocket, or the side zipper of the pocket. I gotta say, I actually do like this handle. It makes it very comfortable to actually carry. So let's see what's the info that's on here. So they refer to it as a Pro Grip handle. This is their second generation pool cue case. It's constructed of a ballistic nylon, inspired by ermine camouflage and tactical gear. That's interesting. Okay, so the shoulder strap is adjustable. So non-slip case footing and studs. I guess that's on the bottom, so that way it doesn't slide on you. So the single click opening, that's got to be the clasps. So there's the stealth jump cue pocket. So here are the size of the pockets, if anybody wants to know the dimensions. There we go. I know someone's probably interested in this. The case weighs approximately 4 pounds, 3.7 to be exact. So yeah. So I mean, there's everything about that case right there. Come back to here. let's look at this stuff, and let's turn this back off. Yes, there we go. And so let's have a look at some of the other stuff. So before we get to the cues, so you will be getting some accessories. So here's a tube of Predator 1080 chalk. I hope you can see that from the lighting. And then here is a poison billiard glove. Now I actually do not know what the size of this is. Most of the stuff that I have here is stuff that I've actually won from raffles given by the Cue It Up network. So I'm really just repurposing this stuff. But you can see they've never been opened. So these are all completely brand new. So here's the jump cue. This is the silver, and I think there's a green. There's a green stripe that goes right down here. When I pull up the actual specs on the website, and then of course you can see I've got my scale and my measuring tape. So because we're going to verify everything that we see on the website to see how close of what I've got versus what is actually advertised. So I don't know. I'm just going to guess that this is probably rubber, and it's actually really comfortable to grip. And the one thing that I found out about these jump cues here that I've never actually seen before is this, which I think is really cool. You will be getting joint protectors. But here's the really cool part. So obviously, pretty standard to put the cue together, right? Nothing special about that. And it's a jump break cue, so there's nothing special about breaking the bottom piece off. And so that way you have your jump cue. I'm going to guess this is probably 43 inches in length. Not entirely sure, but it's just a guess. But here's the interesting part, and I've never actually seen this before. Because since I have a 43-inch jump cue, that should allow me to jump the ball pretty high. But what I can also do is take this piece out, take this piece, and screw it into the shaft. Now you can see that there's a little bit of some spacing here that actually goes around it because the shaft obviously is not round enough to be flush with this area here. But when you do this stuff, this makes the cue a little bit longer, which allows you to jump farther. So really, if you want to use just this piece, this helps you have higher jump shots, and this helps you have longer jump shots. And this is the first time I've ever actually seen a jump break cue that actually does this. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then let's see here. Let's put all this back together. Or actually, no, because we need to actually verify all the specs. So I'm going to leave them all three apart. So we're going to come over here. Now, before I start verifying all the specs, let's actually look at the details. So this is for this cue here. So let's switch back to this. So here's just some close-up pictures of this is the Poison VX5 BRK-X Jump Break Cue Silver. So you can see this one's been marked down from $234 to $198.90. They currently have them in stock. Go through some of the pictures. And let's see what all this is. Let's see. Drive through the rack with the new Poison VX brake cue. So something about a revolutionary GTX grip, double density low deflection brake shaft, mini radial joints for interchangeability and balance. Comes with the phenolic tip. So here it is, the Venom 2 low deflection shaft with DD technology. I have no idea what that means. So whatever a GTX grip is, so I don't know if that's leather or if it's rubber. Low friction matted finish for easier follow-throughs. With a mini and the joint protectors that I showed you that are included. Okay, so let's double density. That's what DD stands for. So what are we talking about here? Let's see. Powers the best low deflection shaft for the money. The poison venom shaft has been engineered by Predator to provide the best low deflection shaft at the best price. The result is that your cue gets out of the cue ball's way, which reduces cue ball deflection and improves accuracy on the break. That means more forgiveness and more power into the rack when your tip placement is slightly off. So that's actually pretty interesting. Syntech forearm for better energy transfer. So that's interesting. The Syntech material that is wrapped around the forearm adds stiffness to the cue butt for a better energy transfer and higher cue ball velocity. Additionally, it increases the mass in the front of the cue butt to optimize the balance forward for both breaks and jumps. So here's how they're actually able to do the butt of the cue and I guess the forearm of the cue to still be able to screw into the shaft with the mini radial joints. So that's actually kind of interesting. So here we go. Now we're getting into the specs. So we've got the middle part of the handle being 12 inches long, weighing at 5.4 ounces. And then the GTX grip handle is 17 inches long, weighing at 9.5 ounces. So altogether, what is that? That's a grand total of 14.9. So that's going to be interesting to see what the actual shaft is going to weigh. And we're dealing with a 13 millimeter shaft. So let's see if I can do this, though. Here's what I'm going to want to try to do. We're going to turn this off. And I actually need to extend my camera or my other camera so it can reach over to the table. So now I'm doing some on-the-fly setup. You're going to see me step into the frame here for a second, or in a second, as I get ready to put this other camera up. So you should see me right about now, because this is going to be where I hook this camera up, so that way you can have a better view of what I'm going to be seeing. So this is basically what I do when I do recorded content. Trying to figure out where I'm going to place all the cameras, what the camera angles are going to look like, etc., etc. All right, so get this right up to the table, and hopefully have this pointed right at the weight scale. And when I turn this on, hold on, that's not what it's supposed to do. So let's deactivate it and then reactivate it. Hey, that's better. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to be doing a lot of on-the-fly stuff here, everybody. Let's do this, and let's see if I can zoom in a little bit so we can see the weight scale a little better. I think with this camera I can only zoom in about that far. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the web page. You can't see this. So it says the middle grip handle is supposed to weigh 5.4 ounces. So let's test that out. Let's turn this guy on. Hopefully you can see the numbers. They're saying this piece here is 5.4 ounces. Let's find out. Unless I did something wrong. Let me make sure. Yeah. Looks like we're looking at 5.1. Either 5 or 5.1. Okay, so a little off there from the website. I wouldn't consider that too big of a deal. Now, the grip handle is supposed to weigh, or actually, hold on. The length of this thing is supposed to be 12 inches. So let's see. Can you actually see? You're probably not going to be able to see the measuring tape, like the actual numbers that are on the measuring tape. But I will go ahead and do this. And I'm pretty sure the 12 inches does not include the joint pin. And I can show you, yes, it is exactly 12 inches. So they at least got the mark right on that one. And I just saw the camera is autofocusing, so let me disable that. All right, so that way it shouldn't do that anymore. Cool. Now, the GTX grip handle, it's supposed to be 17 inches in length. Let's go ahead and look at that first before we weigh it. And I'm pretty sure this is the same thing. It's just going to start here at the very top of the grip, not including the joint pin. And it's not going to. There's actually a bumper here that you can actually screw off, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to include that. Whatever this piece is right here, you can hopefully see that there's a little seam here, and that's where the end of the measurement is going to be from. So we'll line this up here, and yes, we have exactly. Oh, here we go. We have exactly 17 inches. So far, at least the length measurements are good, and we're supposed to have 9.5 ounces. So let's have a look at that. Oh, okay. So that looks a little off too. So what do you think? Is it a manufacturer defect, or is it just wrong numbers put up on their webpage? 10.4 ounces. So let's add this. 15.5 ounces. Now that actually is going to seem a little reasonable to me because I'm only expecting the shaft of the cue to be roughly 3 ounces or so, give or take. So a total of 15.5 for the entire butt. Now the website did say that the shaft of the cue is supposed to be 13 millimeters. So let's find that out. And hopefully you'll be able to see this. Let's see if I can get that in there. I hope you can read that number. I'm currently seeing 13.07. And I'm trying not to like squeeze the calipers together so tightly to where it like might cut the shaft. So you can see the numbers are still kind of moving around. So pretty close to at least 13 millimeters like they advertised. So yeah, let's see what all this, actually let's see what the shaft weighs by itself. Oh, we got up to 4. Never mind, I thought it was going to be around 3. So altogether, this should be 19.5 or close to it. Yeah, so 19.5 ounces is actually the desired weight that I have for my playing cues. I think my break cue, though, is at least 18 ounces. So there's at least that. I'm going to actually turn this off for a second as I come back to the front. So there's at least that. Now, the question is going to be is, do you actually want me to use these right now and actually test them out? Because obviously the moment I hit with these, they're not brand new anymore. So let me know what y'all feel about that. I can obviously try to test them out. Or I can just leave them completely brand new. I will actually leave that up to y'all. Okay, I'm seeing some about tests. Some say try it out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and test it out. And so that means we're going to have to move some stuff, and then we'll bring it back. No big deal. Let's get this off the table. So just like in my other product review videos, like the moment I break or the moment I shoot with the cue, you know, it's no longer completely brand new. But the winners of those product review videos haven't complained. So let's back that up, and let's get this guy out of here. Okay, so I guess for breaking. What do y'all want me to do? Do y'all want me to break an 8-ball rack, a 9-ball rack, or a 10-ball rack? So y'all are pretty much going to be the drivers of the show. What kind of rack should I break? Okay, I see a vote for 10. I see a vote for 9. 9. Looks like 9-ball's the winner. All right, so let me get my magic rack out. I could even try to do some on-the-fly lessons at the same time. Because if you've followed the channel, you'll know that when I use a template rack, I can highly predict where all 9 balls are going to go on the table, provided, of course, that I actually break correctly. The right speed, the right spin on the cue ball, or the right hit, I shouldn't say spin, the right hit on the cue ball, the right contact spot on the one ball. And so I will demonstrate that break that I'm talking about. And then I'll just do another break where I just hit the crap out of the rack. So actually, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to open up my break speed app. And let's see how powerful my fully controlled break actually is. Let's see, we are playing 9 ball on an oversized 8, so I think everything's okay there. Where's the position of where I'm breaking? Not from there. I am breaking from way over here. Okay. So, let's go ahead and shock this bad boy for the first time. Now, you probably can't see me because I still have the zoom setting to when I play straight pull. I figured I just didn't want to go ahead and mess with that. You can hear me okay. Now, when I try to do this break, if everything goes the way if everything goes to plan, what I would expect is that the 1 ball is going to pass the side pocket. Sometimes it does go in, and that's okay. But it'll pass the side pocket, hit the side rail, and then park somewhere right over here, and I'll have a shot at it here for the corner pocket most of the time. The 3 ball is going to bank on the side rail and then start heading towards this pocket where it can possibly fall. The 6 ball, because I'm also breaking on the left, just kind of dribbles out of the rack and actually runs the risk of colliding with another ball. Since I'm breaking from the left side of my table, we should know that the 4 ball is going to fall into the corner pocket. The 9 ball really shouldn't move all that much. It might get kicked by another ball, all depending upon how they truly spread. The 7 ball here is going to go 3 rails. And when it gets over to this area here, this is where a collision might occur. Because what's going to happen with the 8 ball is the 8 ball is going to come up and hit the short rail and then come down over here, and that's when the collision with the 7 ball might happen. If that collision happens, then the 7 ball is going to come down here, and it might actually fall. And then what happens with the 8 ball is that the 8 ball will get kicked over to the side rail and then come back over here where it can possibly tie up with the 5. Because the 5 ball is going to go up here and then come back down and park itself somewhere right here for this corner pocket. And then the 2 ball is going to bank off of this short rail and then start heading down towards this corner pocket. Now, if you're new to my channel, you got to be thinking to yourself, there's no way that's correct. So let me just show you. If I don't produce it on the first result, I will try again until I get it right, because I have to make sure that I hit this 1 ball correctly, which if you look at the line of centers between the cue ball and the 1 ball, I don't want to hit directly straight at it. I actually want to hit slightly to the right between these 2 lines here in order to make that happen. I actually have a slight bit of topspin, I mean very, very little topspin on the cue ball because I'm wanting the weight of the rack to push the cue ball back, and that little bit of topspin is going to slow it down, and that's what parks it right here near the middle of the table. So let's see if I can do all that. If I can get it successfully after a couple attempts, and then I'll just hit the crap out of the rack and see what we can do. Are you watching all the balls? Are they all going exactly where I said they were going to go? Pretty much. I think this guy might have gotten knocked loose, but look what's down here and look what's up here. They all pretty much went exactly where I said they were going to go. So let's do it again. Oh, and I forgot. That break was at 12.48 miles per hour. So let's see if I can do it again. And if I'm able to replicate it again, then I'll do a third one and just hit the crap out of the rack. And let's see what happens. So I'm going to set the balls up in the same exact order so that way you can hopefully follow them the same exact way as the last break. So this is what I would consider practice, because like I've played so much 9-ball Ghost that I've studied this so much that I've been able to do this. And so if I were to break from the other side of the table, I would do the same exact thing. It's just flipped, like looking at something in a mirror. You would expect the same exact results. All right, so let's see if I can replicate that same thing. Sometimes I can actually drop 2 or 3 balls too, with the pass that the balls are actually going. Right? Pretty much the same thing, right? And I know it's an 8-foot table, but I'm also satisfying the 3-point rule. I make a ball on the break, 2 balls are past the head string. Sometimes the 1 ball gets down here as well, so that's actually I'm satisfying 4 points. I do have a shot at the 1 ball this time, except it has to go up here in this corner pocket versus going down here. That was also 12.19 miles per hour. So roughly around 12 miles per hour, and you basically get this kind of result if you do everything correctly. Because now, if I just hit the crap out of the rack, I'm not going to have any control on my cue ball, and I have no clue where all the balls are going to end up. They're still going to travel roughly the same paths, but they're obviously going to travel farther because they're going to have more momentum on them. Let's get all this set up again, and let's just smash the rack. And don't expect a big break out of me. I'm just a little guy. But I will try to put everything I got into it. Hopefully I keep the cue ball on the table. All right, let's watch what happens. That wing ball should be going regardless how hard or soft or whatever I break. So let's see what this break does. This is with this. I'm going to try to give it everything I got. Well, I made 2 balls on the break, the 1 and the 2. It looks like I'm not going to have a shot on the 3. 18.14 miles per hour. I think I could break harder than that. I think I can get into the 20s. I have to say that I do feel hesitant to really drive everything into the rack. If all 8 balls were on the table, maybe I would be less hesitant. But let's try it one more time. Let's try it one more time. I'm pretty certain I can hit harder than that. And if you saw, like, the cue ball went this way, so I didn't even get a full hit on the 1 ball. If my hit was fuller, I probably would have had a better number. All right, here we go. Same thing. My cue ball goes off to one side. Wing ball goes, like I said, do I even scratch? I do. Still 18.46. Come on. All right, one more, and then I'm just going to leave it alone. I know I've gotten into the 20s before. But let's try to make sure that I get a more straight hit on the 1 ball. I think that's where I'm losing some of my power. Now, I'm going to come back and read the chat. Tell me, do you think that was a harder break than last time? Did that break seem harder, or did that break seem softer, or did it seem about the same? What do y'all think? I got one that says harder, sounded more solid, sounded about the same. Yes, harder, harder. So that's just judging by sound, right? Because that's all y'all can judge off of. That's how this app is supposed to work also. 17.91 miles per hour. So, I honestly do not know. Because the number came back down low, I am going to do another break. I honestly do not know how well the acoustics have to be in my garage, because basically what's supposed to happen is the app picks up the sound of the tip hitting the cue ball, and then it picks up the sound of the cue ball hitting into the rack. And when you do the setup correctly, which hopefully you'll be able to read this. If you do the setup correctly, you let them know what type of table you're playing on. You let them know where you're breaking on the actual table. And yeah, like that's how it's supposed to measure. It's supposed to measure off of the sound that it actually hears. Now, what everybody might want to know is like, well, how does the cue feel? Well, it doesn't feel any different to me than other, like even if I were to break with my Tuxedo or break with my BK3. Now, I can say the BK3 produces a different sound. But I'm able to do the same exact thing with my BK3 than I am with this. All right, so we're going to try this again. I thought I hit that much harder than the other attempts. Some of y'all said that I saw some where it said it sounded the same, but some did think I hit it harder. So we are going to try one more time. Here we go. Yeah, so did that seem harder, softer, the same? What do y'all think? I see faster. One said weaker. One said the same. 18.14. So really, even for me as a software developer, I am not entirely sure the accuracy of the app. But I didn't develop the app. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but to me, it just seems harder to gauge its accuracy. And I would have to say that y'all would have to agree with me on that. Now, so that's how it functions as a break cue. But as you all well know, for myself, I'm personally not interested in being able to break at like 20, 21 miles per hour and stuff. I've done it before. I even did it at Vegas before. I'm more interested in breaking, anywhere around 12 to 13, maybe 14 or 15 miles an hour, because I have way more control over the cue ball. And most of the time, or some of the time, I should say, the predictions of what I can tell that's coming out of the rack are fairly high. So you can see, at least with the 9-ball rack, when I was breaking with so much control, I know exactly where all the balls are going to go. So that's what allows me to play position for the balls after the break. And when I'm playing 9-ball, I usually have a fairly high chance of being able to run the table. Now, I am going to zoom out for this, though, so that way you can see me. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. We'll go right about here. I think that should be good. And we're going to try some jump shots. Let's see how well this cue can actually jump. So we're not going to use this piece for now. I'll just set this aside. So we're just going to try some basic jumps. First, let's just clear over not 2 balls in length, but 2 balls that are actually in the way. So I'm not going to try to put any effort into actually jumping. I want to see if the cue will do it all by itself. Actually, I don't even think I need to elevate that high. We'll try this high of elevation. Let's see if I can clear over these two balls. Well, I think that's pretty good, especially since I got the cue ball to stop. A little bit of a cut because the cue ball kind of drifted off to my left, but yeah, that's pretty good. See if I can do it again. Let's add another layer. So almost about 3 balls length. Because if I take this ball, put it here in the middle, it's about 3 balls lengths in the way. Let's see if I can do that again. Try to do the same thing if I can. So you can see hopefully you can see that I'm not elevating too terribly high. Okay, lost control of the cue ball a little bit, but made the ball, jumped over that. We'll try it again. We'll add another ball. As you can see, I'm not evenly spacing these like, X number of balls apart. I'm just putting more distance to see at least what my capabilities are. I mean, some of y'all might have a little bit of difficulty clearing this far. That's perfectly fine. That's why you practice this stuff. And some might just be able to just, I don't know, like if I start jumping the length of the table, like some of y'all might be able to jump over like 5, 6, 7 balls. Because you obviously have to stay within the bounds of your skill set. So let's see if I can have better control on the cue ball this time. Well, forget the cue ball control because it apparently sucks. But jumping with this, I mean, like I said, I am literally not. When I say I'm not trying to jump, all I'm doing is stroking the jump shot like it's a shot, if that makes sense. Because when you're shooting just a regular shot, you just basically pull back and shoot. Like that's it. That's all I'm really doing with this. I pull back and I shoot. And that's what's allowing me to jump over the balls like that. So now I know for a fact that my accuracy going this way is going to be like next to nothing. So let's see what I can do here. Except since we're doing longer jump shots, let's try attaching that like this. Let's try attaching that other piece and let's see what we get. Though I do have to say, I think this is super cool so far that I've been able to do everything on the first attempt, because when I'm doing recorded content, it doesn't go that way. Sometimes it takes 2 attempts, 3 attempts, sometimes more attempts. But since I'm doing this live, it does make me feel a little nervous. It's not the same thing as me playing straight pool or playing the Ghost live or anything, because there I'm just playing. But here I'm trying to do demonstrations, and like I'd like to be able to do the demonstrations on the first try. And since that's happening that way, I just think that's kind of cool. All right. The heck? I don't know why I didn't notice this before. Something just felt different. I mean, obviously it felt different in the weight, but maybe the balance point, I think, is what threw me off. Depending upon where I was actually holding it. Okay, obviously I'm going to feel more pressure there because I've got more weight there. Okay. Let's see if this does the same thing. Just something felt different. I'm going to try to describe it as best I can. Well, no, I guess that's normal. But it's interesting because since this is longer, I would almost expect the same. Obviously, like the further back I hold, the more the cue wants to fall. So therefore, there's pressure on my hand pushing up like this. And I would have thought that right around here, that it would feel I would feel more pressure as if I was using this piece here, but I don't. I hope that what I'm describing makes sense. Here's the balance point. So here's the balance point. And I should show the balance point with the other piece. So hopefully I'll see that okay. But yeah, let's see if I can jump over all of this, and let's see if I can make the 13 ball. So I've got 5 balls in the way, and I've even got space here as well, because I'm not a good high jump shot person. So like if the opposing ball was like right here, I'm not very good at like jumping high and being able to hit the ball that's like right over here. So normally if I have a ball that close, then I will more than likely kick at the object ball. So let's see how this feels. And try to do the same thing. I'm not going to elevate so high. I'm just going to try to hit the cue ball with a regular stroke. Wow. And I actually cleared them all. Forget the fact that I missed. I cleared all of them. That was actually pretty cool. Let's try it again. I don't know. Are y'all convinced? Like, what do you think? Especially for the price point. Oh, I should have made that one. No, come on. I should have made that one. So, I mean, come on. As far as I'm concerned, like, and this is live, so it's not like I can BS you about this, right? You guys get to see it. You guys get to see it demonstrated live. First time attempts. The short jumps were successful. Long jumps not successful at potting the ball, but clearing all of that and still being able to make contact with the object ball with very little effort. I mean, just stroke the jump shot like you would a regular shot, and that's able to get the cue ball to jump into the air and clear the obstacles. So I don't know. This gets my approval as far as I'm concerned. The only thing you have to ask yourself is like, are you satisfied with the cue that looks like this? Because that's usually what the driving point is, right? How does the cue look? Like people care about these. People care about these things. They want to have a quote unquote good looking cue, right? What do I do with the joint protectors? There they are. So that is the Poison VX5 jump brake cue. Barely any effort to be able to get the cue off of the table. Now, the next cue that we have is the playing cue. And this is the Arsenic cue. Let me give you some close-ups. This cue here, this was actually a surprise to me because what had happened was when Nate finally shipped me all of my prizes that I had won from all of his raffles, because I won a bunch of his raffles. I mean, I donated a pretty significant amount of money to his events. And with all those donations, I was entered into multiple raffles, and I won multiple raffles. I won jump brake cues. I won some apparel. I won some cue accessories, all kinds of different stuff. So he actually sent me this giant box with everything in it. And I did an unboxing live stream of that. And when I got through everything, this was the last item that I opened. And this is something I didn't win. And you get to even see it on the live stream where I'm like, what is this? Is this a mistake? Did you send this to me by mistake? And it wasn't a mistake. He sent this to me out of the kindness of his own heart because of how much support that I actually give him for the Cue It Up network and everything else. And so I was like, man, once I knew that I got this, that's when I knew that I can eventually put this all together to actually have this poison package giveaway. And the only thing that I was missing was the 2x4 hard case. And guess who helped me get that? Nate helped me get that as well. So let's look at the particulars about the Q before we confirm all of the specs. Put the jump brake Q away because now that we're done with it. Actually, you know what? I should have left it out, shouldn't I? Because if I'm going to use the plane Q, I might as well brake with the brake Q. So yeah, let's leave it out. But I'm going to pull the website back up so we can look at the details of the Arsenic Q. So we'll put this guy up for a second. Okay, so let's pull up the website. Let's see here. Here's the Arsenic Q. So let me switch this back on. All right, here. So this is the Poison Arsenic AR31. This Q has been marked down from $349 to $296.65 and is out of stock. So I have one. So that's cool. So here's some close-ups of the pictures in case the camera didn't do it justice. I really do like the color of this brown here and how it actually blends all together nicely. Nice little ring inlays here. And they're also using the Venom 2 shaft as well. So let's see about the details. Let's see. The perfect synthesis between nostalgia and new technology. Introducing the third generation of Poison Arsenic line of pool cues. Designed and developed with a nod to the cues that reigned for more than 50 years ago. And constructed of premium materials. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Featuring the Predator-engineered Venom 2 low deflection shaft. I think that's basically the same thing as that was on the jump brake cue. Sarin 8-layer leather tip. Does anybody know anything about Sarin tips? Really? It's a Unilock. Really? Ha! It is. Oh, you're not going to be able to see this. I got to do this. I had to look and see about the joint. It's a Unilock bullet joint. This is a weapon. This isn't even a pool cue anymore. It's a weapon. My goodness. All right. Back to the specs. What are we dealing with here? All right, what are we talking about? Rich stained curly maple points, white and silver inlaid rings. That's the rings that I showed you. Acid etched metallic butt cap. I already just talked about the joint, the ignition bumper, and then, of course, the low deflection shaft. So they're using the double density stuff. Where are the specs? Oh, there is no specs, at least listed on their website. So we'll get to find this stuff out firsthand. They are at least saying tip diameter is 13 millimeters. Okay, fair enough. So let's turn that back off, and let's get everything set up first. Okay, so let's bring this guy back over. And let's turn this on. How do you like all this on-the-fly production? Let's make sure you can actually read the numbers there. Okay, so I have to imagine this is your standard length 58-inch cue. So both pieces are more than likely going to be 29 inches in length. So the butt of the cue here is going to start from the top of the joint, and like I said, come all the way down to before it gets to the bumper, which was exactly, where's my thumb? Yeah, that's a blurry number there. But it's exactly 29 inches, as I suspected. And the shaft here, the shaft is actually going to measure from the joint here, and it's not supposed to include the tip. So we line this up. Come all the way up to the top of the ferrule, not including the tip. And yeah, same thing, exactly. Hopefully you can read that. Exactly 29 inches. So standard 58 inch length cue. It did say 13 millimeter shaft. We can go ahead and look at that right now before we weigh it. And hopefully y'all can see that number. Looks like 13.04. I hope y'all can read that. Again, just like with the jump brake cue shaft, fairly close to what they advertise, at least on their website. I wouldn't be too terribly worried about being off by, what is that, a hundredth of a millimeter. So let's check the weight. So here's the shaft. So I think this is actually heavier, right? Wasn't the jump brake cue 4.0 ounces? This one's 4.3. So that's interesting. 14.8. So that should be a grand total of 19.1. 19.1, 19.2, okay, whatever. But it's interesting to see that the jump brake cue is actually slightly heavier. So interesting. Now, I imagine since y'all had me test out the brake cue, you're gonna want me to test out the shooting cue. Yes? Want to see me try to run some racks on the first attempt? What do y'all want me to play? 8 ball, 9 ball, 10 ball? Straight pool? Of course, everybody's like, yes. Is that a trick question? Rhetorical question, Farley. Who knows the movie reference for that one? What do y'all want me to play? Ooh, I already see 10 ball. I see 14.1. I see 8 ball, 8 ball, 10 ball, 8 ball. Ooh, it looks like 8 ball's the winner. I see more 8 ball votes. Okay, let's do that then. Let's see if I can break and run some 8 ball racks on the first attempt. Oops. Let's put this guy up, and let's get this guy. Okay, so we'll still use the jump brake cue, except I'm not going to be smashing the rack. I'm going to be doing my controlled brake. I'm not going to be hitting soft either. I mean, I'll put a little juice behind it. Now, I don't quite have an 8 ball rack down like I do the 9 ball rack, but I do know where a couple of balls actually go fairly consistently on the brake, because it's very similar to 10 ball. So in 8 ball, at least what you see me do for my APA league matches is you normally see me break from like right here, because since in league, since we're not using magic racks, the only ball that I'm usually interested in controlling is the 1 ball. Sometimes I can get the 1 ball to drop here into the side pocket. Sometimes I can get the 1 ball to drop down here into the corner pocket. But really, I'm also interested in watching the corner balls when I break. But since I'm using a magic rack, I'm actually going to break a little bit more towards the center, because at least from here, what I'm expecting or hoping to happen is that the balls that are in the second row, they're going to track right over towards the side pockets. And because I'm breaking on the left, the 1 ball is really going to start trying to track down here towards this corner pocket. The corner balls, they're going to go 4 rails around so long as they can dodge everything that's going to get in the way and then possibly return, either falling into their respective corner pockets or at least getting somewhere near it. That's at least what I'm expecting. That's 5 balls in the rack that I'm at least predicting where they might go. So let's see if I can do this. So this is more of a controlled break. So it's going to be around the 12 to, like, I don't want to get the break speed back down, because this is more about using the Arsenic cue. This is going to be around anywhere from 12 to 13 miles an hour. I'm going to try to hold the cue ball in the center of the table right after my break. So obviously not quite. Drew the cue ball back. Okay, ew. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that, regardless if I take solids or stripes, huh? Wait, did I make 3 stripes on the break? I only see 4 left. How many balls did I make on the break? I made nothing but stripes on the break. I didn't make a single solid. Well, this changes everything. I'm going to go ahead and predict that I'm probably not going to run this out, but I will make a valiant effort at it. Let's get this all nicely chalked up. Okay, so running out stripes from this position is less than ideal, I think, because I've got this ball here that I really can't do anything with, right? In order for me to do something with it, I would have to have my cue ball like somewhere right around here so that I can shoot it in and then try to drive the cue ball into the 6 ball to hopefully free up the 12 ball. And I'm not even guaranteed a shot if I do that. Otherwise, if I had an approach angle like this, I could probably use some top right spin to try to hit the rail and spin this way as well. And then there's this guy that's blocked by the 2 ball. So if I broke this table, like, I don't know, and I wanted to win, like I wanted to go for the win, I'm probably going to try to choose solids, because my opening shot right now seems to be the 15 ball into the side pocket. But then I have no clue what I can do with the 10. I have an idea what I might be able to do with the 12. But at least when I come and look over here at these 3 here, the 5 ball freely goes into the corner pocket. The 3 ball, it's pretty close to be able to try to get past the 8 ball. Let me see if I can move this out of the way. I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't. I'll end up moving a ball. I'm just gonna leave it here. So if I were to analyze this rack, this is probably the reason why I would end up choosing solids over stripes, even though I made 3 stripes on the break. So that would be for BCA. For APA, since I made nothing but stripes, I have to take stripes. Yeah, so let's see what I can do with solids. And all that talk, and I'm gonna miss the first shot here. This feels weird. Well, I shouldn't say weird. Weird's the wrong word to use. It feels different. Let's see where the balance point is. It's usually right above the forearm, or right above the grip. That's pretty standard. There you go. There's the balance point. Like I said, I think that's fairly standard. It's usually somewhere right around here, just above the grip. All right, let's see what I can do here. I made that ball, right? I made that ball. Okay, so if this were a real game, now we're on. Well, let's just say it's player 2. And wait a minute. Did I not even notice that? Does that ball go? I think that ball goes now. Now that I see this little opening here, it still doesn't help me what I'm going to try to do with this guy. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if the 12 ball goes. Here's a little bottom right. I just lost the game. Never mind. So what I can say though is, you saw the first shot. I had that really nice stop shot on the 4 ball. I just ended up bobbling the pocket there. Got a little bit of draw action out of the cue ball for that shot here. Let's do some real draw action. Like that's usually like always a good way to actually test out a cue. It's like, how can you actually whip the cue ball around? So let's try this. That's pretty good, right? And I hope y'all can hopefully, I don't, if the sound levels are adequately representing the way the cue sounds, because this is the way, I mean, y'all should have seen me play well enough. This is how I play. Like, I don't hit the ball hard. I hit the ball clean with good technique, and that's how I'm able to move the cue ball around with what appears to be less effort. Because I mean, I could hit the crap out of this ball, and I don't know what kind of action I'll get out of it. But that's usually just not the way that I play. See what I mean? The sound should have been louder. I might have hit just a little bit higher on the cue ball just to get it to draw back this far. But when I hit lower on the cue ball, I can hit slower on the cue ball, cleaner. As long as I've got good technique, and the hit will actually sound softer. See, like you would have to tell me, like, if that hit sounds softer. And look at this. Look how cleanly I can actually draw the cue ball back. I'll eventually do an actual video of breaking that down and what I'm actually doing to produce that kind of action. All right, let's see if I can break another 8-ball rack and see if I can actually do a better job at trying to run out. So the cue feels great. And if anybody's wondering, yes, I'm using backhand English when I play. I did receive a couple of comments on my backhand English video about, like, it's not the same thing for wooden shafts as it is for carbon fiber shafts. And all my response could be is, well, I have wooden cues before I got my carbon fiber cue, and I've been playing the same way for the past, I don't know, 15 years or so. So unless you're calling me a liar, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just the way that I play, and I'm able to get it to work. And I'm certainly not trying to say that what they're saying is wrong. What I am saying is I don't agree with what they're saying because of what I'm able to produce on the table. All right, so ideally, I would probably want to do a very similar break, but have my cue ball more towards the middle of the table. Let's try this again. After this rack, I'll come back and look at the chat, and we can talk for a bit. So I'll try to hit just a little higher on the cue ball because I want the cue ball to just squat right in the middle of the table. Oh, it tried to squat in the middle of the table. But did I make a ball? Look, that 13 had to have been a corner ball, right? If I went back and looked at the replay, I bet that 13 ball was a corner ball. And so it went its 4-rail route and dodged everything. All right, so I broke dry. Let's see how I can try to pick this rack apart. Don't know about the 5-ball. Yeah, this area right here makes me wonder about whether or not if I should choose solids or stripes. 2-ball goes in that corner pocket. This is really my only troubled ball, which in reality, if I get the 3-ball out of the way, then the 5-ball at least goes in that corner pocket. Got this guy down here. So what can I do? And I'm probably going to love looking at the live chat. Shoot this and this and this and go in this order. Let's see here. My only opening shot for stripes is that guy. Bit of a mess here between the 11 and the 14 because the 2 blocks it. Yeah, so I think solids is probably the right choice. If my opponent broke this and I analyze the table, I think I'm probably trying to run solids out from here. I think. Let's see if I can go from the 6 to the 3. That way I can hopefully prepare the 5. Oh, never mind. Oh. No, I'm not going to jump over the 8. We don't need to. We have backup shots. That's why we play 8-ball. So I'm going to shoot the 7 now. So I have to change. The idea was to play the 3-ball next if I was able to land in the window, possibly the 7, and then possibly the 4, and maybe the 1. But once I get to the 4 or the 1, I can try to get position on the 5 to come here, which can probably help me try to get position on the 2 to come here, and then get position on the 8. So that was my predetermined plan before the first shot. Now, of course, since I missed the position on the 3-ball, I got to try something else. Okay, that makes my 4-ball a little bit more accessible. Don't like that I'm bridged over the stripes. I actually really would have loved if I would have just nicked the 5-ball as well. Do I want to shoot the 4-ball? No, I don't think I do. Because then I'm forced to get position on the 5 after that, but that means I have to get the 3 out of the way. So this is an uncomfortable shot. There we go. Now I did move the 15 from the previous shot on the 7, so that actually closes my window of getting position on the 5. So that actually makes things a little bit more interesting. Don't get flat. Ah, I got flat. Okay. What do I do from here? Can I draw into this? I already just showed you I can power draw the cue ball. Is the angle correct where I can bust this open with a power draw? I think it is. Oh, too much spin. Never mind. I'm not going to hit it at all. So this should allow me to shoot the 2. I might be able to do a 2-rail position and maybe bump open the 5 from here, maybe. So hopefully what you'll see, I'll even try to fully demonstrate it. I'm at the center of the cue ball right now as I'm lining everything up. I think I'm all lined up. So I'm going to move my grip hand. Now I've got some right spin on the cue ball. Barely undercut the ball, and I missed the breakout. Okay, so I'm going to make one attempt at stripes. This is obviously going to be an issue here. I might be able to use the 15 ball to break it out, but we'll see. I mean, just so I can try to establish myself, I'm more than likely going to shoot this 13 ball and maybe try to get position for the 9 in the side. Well, not like that. But this works. I'm on this side where I can see these 2 stripes, so I'm certainly not going to complain about that. Just I hit the wrong side of the ball. So let's try the 14. You can see I get a little magic rack love, so let's go ahead and try to move this guy out of the way. This is one of the biggest complaints about template racks, is if they're left on the table and it alters the path of the cue ball or it alters the path of the object ball. Let's see here. I'm still wondering what I'm going to do with the 10. And then even the 8 ball, since my 2 ball is blocking the pocket. So a little different sound of a hit. So like I said, I hope the microphone is doing this justice. It looks like the 10 ball is going to go into the side pocket, so as long as I can shoot the 15 ball into the other side pocket, I should be okay. Let me double check the 8. This is a fairly tight window to go behind the 2 ball. I might be able to catch the point of the pocket and still have it go in. I don't think I'd be able to do that if my pockets were 4 1/4. when I eventually get there. But at 4.5, I think that might be an option. So I think that means the rest of my out. Well, no. Maybe I can use the 11 so I don't have to worry about this. Let me make sure with this 12 ball. Because I was going to play 11, 12, 15, 10, and then try to shoot the 8 and just graze this point right here to still see if it would go in. But if I leave my 11 ball alone, I could probably try to get behind the 8 ball so that way I can shoot it up table. So that means I have to take a harder shot. So let's try that. Let's try to take a harder shot. Uh-oh. I think I hit it too soft. I did. So the 15 ball does not go past the 5 into the corner. So what I can try to do is have the 15 ball graze the 10. After it grazes the 10, it'll graze the 5, and hopefully that gives me the right angle to come into this pocket. Now, if I was playing APA, I don't have to call any of that. If I was playing BCA, I would have to at least say 15 ball side pocket. Oh, it didn't hit the 5. Never mind. So if this were actual real game, the game should be over and solids should win. All right, play the 5 ball into the corner pocket. But I hope at least what I'm demonstrating is showing you the quality of the cue as far as its usability. Because I'm not playing any different than if I had my tuxedo in my hand. I'm using the same stroke. I'm using my same aiming, same touch, everything. The only thing that's different, obviously, is the equipment. And that's why I said in one of my older videos to where like the equipment has a little impact. It has some impact, but I just have to say that impact is very little. Really, just the outcome of what can be done with that cue ball is just solely, or the majority is dependent on you, not the cue. A lot of times you get the cues that you want because of the way they look, more than anything else. But that's just my opinion. But what did y'all think? Because that is essentially it. These are the cues that some lucky subscriber is going to win. I already saw questions about how this is all going to work, so I will explain that here in a second. Let me put these joint protectors back on. Oh, and just so y'all know, the Arsenic joint protectors are a little bit different than the jump break joint protectors. So this one here, this is for the jump break. You can see it has the red label here. And this is the Arsenic joint protectors. So they're a little bit different. Not exactly the same. Definitely would have to be because of the bullet joint here that's on this thing. So let me get all this put together. And then, of course, what did y'all think of the the on-the-fly, unrehearsed, no multiple takes product review? Because if y'all have seen my other product reviews, they pretty much follow the same format. I talk about the specs of the cue. I don't bother pulling up the website. Or no, I did. I took clips from the Predator website when I reviewed the BK Rush Jump Break cue. The J-Flower cues, I had a certificate of authenticity, so I didn't have to pull up any information. I just went straight off of the certificate of authenticity. So, but it's still the same standard format, but I get to do it live, all in a single take. You get to hear me stumble on my words. You get to see me make mistakes on the table. Wasn't able to execute the long jump shots on the first try. I was at least able to execute the short jump shots on the first try. But that's the joys of a live stream. You get to see what I'm truly made of, which I think is a good thing. I don't have to BS you about anything. So I'm trying to get my webcam set back up. Give me just a second here. So if I turn this guy back on, it's really dark. Let's fix that. No, not that one. Let's do this, let's do that, and then let's do that. That's better, except we don't want this covering the whole window like that. So let's do this, and then let's move it to the center of the screen, like that. It's still a little, let's do, actually, why is it doing that? Let's do this, and then all right, that's better. And then let's transform center screen. There we go. That's better. All right. So, what does everybody think? Oh, you like the shirt? This is not Cobra Kai. This is actually Kickshot Pool Gear. You saw there was a viewer in here named Kickshot Pool Gear, and this is from his website. I think it's kickshotpoolgear.com. In the description of this live stream, and almost in every one of my YouTube videos is a link to their site. And it's been a while since I've seen it work, but I always advertise that it's there. I should have a discount code. I think it's Lil Chris. Let me look it up. And you know what? While I'm here, I might as well go ahead and test it to make sure that it works. No, not Outsville. It's Lil Chris 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to their website, and let's test it out if it works. So actually, what I can do is let's try this. Let's go here, and we're going to turn this back on. So here's the website. Let's see, where is the Cobra Kai one? We got a Cyber Monday deal going on right now. So let's look at the men's shirt. So we've got Only Pool. We know what that's making fun of. Pool Hub. We know what that's making fun of. Kickshot Pool Gear. Kickshot. So here's the Kickshot. This is supposed to represent like the cue ball going into the rail. That's what the K actually stands for. You can see they got a little beanie here. Some T-shirts. Did they not have the Cobra Kai one? Oh, here it is. Here's the Cobra Kai No Mercy T-shirt. So what I'm going to do is say add to cart. Let's go view the cart, and let's see if I can apply a discount code. Do I do a checkout? Let's see what this is going to... Okay, so here's where I can apply the discount code. It should be LILCHRIS 10. Apply. Yep, and it still works. So there you go. My discount code, Lil Chris 10, still works. You can get 10% off of your purchase if you go to kickshotpoolgear.com. So this No Mercy t-shirt, instead of saying strike first, strike hard, no mercy, it says break first, break hard, no mercy. So little pun off of the Cobra Kai Cobra Kai show, which is a fantastic show if anybody's seen it. So there he is, Kickshot Pool Gear. He's still in the live chat. So there's your plug, AJ. All right. So what does everybody think? Let me know, like, how did y'all feel about the jump break cue? How did y'all feel about the Arsenic cue? I mean, there's been a couple of times that I've seen some comments to where, like, I can make any cue look good, right? Like Shane Van Boning can make any cue look good, or Jason Shaw can make any cue look good. You know, whatever. I mean, whatever. But that's not what I'm here to do. Like I did what I normally do. I made sure I played the same exact way that I played straight pull using my own equipment, but I'm just using different equipment, and I can produce the same exact results. Y'all saw that power draw shot that I'm able to do with hardly any effort because of the way that I know how to actually strike the cue ball. All right, so that's how that is what I'm giving away for the 75,000 subscriber giveaway special. So like I said, the way this works is that when I cut this live stream off, and it's actually a video that you can watch afterwards, then you're actually able to comment on the video. So go back and comment on, like, what did you like about the live stream? What did you like about the Arsenic Cube? What did you like about, something? Tell me something that you liked about the live stream. Tell me something that you liked about the products or whatever else. And then I'm gonna let it sit for a couple of weeks, maximum 1 month at max. After that, I will do another live stream, and then that's when I'm going to go through. I'm going to randomly select one of the comments below, and after I select that comment, I'm going to go to that channel. Whether it's an active channel or not is irrelevant. So you don't have to be a content creator. But every one of y'all that are here in the live chat, you have a YouTube channel. So what I have to see when I go look at your YouTube channel, I have to see your subscription list. I have to be able to see who you're subscribed to, because I want to see that you're subscribed to me. Because if I can't see your subscription list after I pick your comment, you're not going to be a valid winner. If I do see your subscription list and I'm not in there, you're not going to be a valid winner. So I have to be able to see the subscription list, and I have to be in the subscription list. Now, I did already show on a previous live stream a while back that sometimes there's actually a bug in the YouTube system to where people that are subscribed to me, I can see their subscription list, but for some reason, I'm not in it. So even when I did a demonstration, my buddy Mr. Edit One, that's been in here in the live chat, he was the one that actually the random comment picker selected him. I went to go look, and I couldn't find my channel in there at all. So I actually thought he wasn't subscribed to me. Right after the live stream ended, he started private messaging me, showing screenshots of how he is subscribed to me, how he got a notification that I was live. And I'm like, oh, well, crap, what am I supposed to do if that's the case? And when I showed everybody that in that live stream, showing that sometimes there's a YouTube bug, well, there's nothing I can do about that. So like I would just have to hope that if I can see your subscription list and you are subscribed to me, that I will be able to see it. And if that is the case, then you will be the lucky winner. And all we have to do is just exchange an address, and give me at least a week to get it to the mail, and then you'll receive a tracking number. And when you get the equipment, I want to see pictures, I want to see videos, whatever. Because I request that of all my winners of my giveaways. Send me some pictures, send me some videos of you using the equipment, because I always like to feature that stuff in any of my future videos that I do. So, is everybody clear on how this works? Because I can't pick somebody out of the live chat. I don't know how that works. It would be totally unfair. So when this live stream is over, you don't even have to watch the live stream, right? You've already watched it. You've been watching it live. But anybody that is watching this after the fact because they didn't get a chance to catch the live stream, then what they're going to want to do is leave a comment, and obviously like this live stream. I mean, right? You got to like the live stream for what I'm doing here. I would at least hope. And then leave a comment, so that way, like I said, a month later or so, I'm able to select the winner. All right, what do we got here? Oh, okay. So I hope y'all see there. Eves, that you see there in the chat, that's actually a buddy of mine from Canada. He's been a lucky winner of some of the Q It Up stuff, and he's been following me and Nate from the Q It Up Network for quite some time. And he is graciously saying that if he is selected as the winner, I'm just going to select somebody else. All right. So like, this is the family that I've built. So the family of supporters, friends, and people that I can consider family. Like, this is what's been so amazing about this for something that I do as a hobby. I mean, like, if I can only imagine. Actually, I can't imagine, because I've decided to go down this route of treating it as a hobby, and basically enjoying everything that I do. I can only imagine, like, if I were to attempt to do this full time, what it would feel like. So like, anybody that does this full, like my buddy Sherivari that does this full time, like, I would feel hard pressed to know that if my videos don't do well and I'm not pulling in decent ad revenue, like, what am I supposed to do? Well, obviously that means you have to go get a job. In the position that I'm in, I have a job. I have a nice paying job, a nice 9-to-5 job. This is just supplemental income that I can do whenever I want. right? I just try to do stuff at least once a week. But lately, since I've been playing a lot of straight pool, I stream almost every other day. And when I live stream my straight pool attempts, those live streams are anywhere from like 3 to 4.5 hours. That's plenty of content for everybody to be able to watch. But now, look at that. I haven't even been live streaming for 2 hours, so we certainly don't have to stop right now. What does everybody want to do? What does everybody want to do? Do y'all want me to try to play some straight pool? Do y'all want me to try to break and run some racks? Or what do y'all want me to do? I'm gonna let y'all run the show. What would y'all like me to try to do? I already see some nominations for some straight pool. I see some trick shots. Really? I don't know a whole lot of trick shots. Mohammed, you're asking me how many balls do I think you hit? Well, that depends, right? Because in 9-ball, I'm clearly thinking about the entire run out when I get to the table, which might include, well, maybe the table's not runnable, right? So what that means is I'm running to a point to where I know I'm going to play safe. But it would basically be figuring out the entire table if once I come to the table, whether it's after the break or any time during the rack. Almost the same thing for 8-ball, right? Because determining the run out for 8-ball is the same thing because it's predetermined by solids or stripes. So you're only going to be running 8 balls, right? So if I can determine that the rack is runnable, because we always like to use the term the rack is solved, which means as long as your cue ball execution is good, you can just clear the rack. So if the rack is already in a solved state, then I will plan the entire run out. So that's anywhere from 1 to 8 balls altogether. If the rack is not solved, then I will attempt to see how many balls can I think ahead to where I can solve the rack. Because if I can't solve the rack, then I'm only going to play X number of balls and then maybe play some sort of a safety. Straight pull, that's a completely different beast. It's a little difficult to try to pre-plan 14 possible balls, especially right after the break shot, if there's a clutter, or if there are multiple clusters that I have to deal with. So that makes things a little difficult to be able to pre-plan the entire layout. If the rack is at least busted wide open, I can attempt to establish a break ball for the next rack. I can try to establish a key ball that leads me to the break ball, and I can try to establish a lead ball that leads me to the key ball that leads me to the break ball. So it just really depends. I see some people asking about one pocket. I only know the basics of one pocket. I am not a very strong one pocket player. Just like how I'm not really a strong straight pool player. That's why I've been doing the live streams to see how long it actually takes for me to be able, how many times it's going to take for me to be able to score 100 points. Rotation MDU that you're talking about. You talk about playing 1 through 15, where every ball is worth the value at which the ball is. So the 1 ball is worth 1 point, 15 balls worth 15 points. The only time we've ever done like a 15-ball rotation game was for a 15-ball ring game way back in the day. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's see, Timothy Cobain, you're saying common mistakes, shots that occur and how to execute those shots correctly. I always like watching videos like that. All right, let me see what I can do with that. Common mistake shots. Let's see. How do I present that information? Well, I can give you an example of what happened in Vegas. When I was in Vegas, I had a gentleman approach me, wanting to know if I was who I am, if I was little Chris. And it's, yeah, so he was happy to meet me, shook my hand, we took some pictures and stuff. And then he asked me a question. He asked me about these rail cut shots. And he says that every time he shoots them, he basically does something like this. So I have to be able to replicate the mistake that he makes. Now it still happened to go in, but you see how soon I actually hit the rail? And try it again. There we go. He basically would do something like that. So that was his scenario that he described. But then he says that if he shoots this with outside spin, it goes in. So I'm going to try to aim the same exact way. You can see it gets a little closer. So then he asks me, well, what am I doing wrong? Because, or I think he was told that basically like the shots can be made with outside spin. So he's like, well, what am I doing wrong? And I was like, well, think about it. First of all, let's remove applying side spin to the cue ball, period. If I don't make this ball and I hit that side rail and the ball doesn't go in, right? Clearly, I'm undercutting the ball. I'm not cutting the ball enough. So the reason why I'm showing you this is because sometimes I know people seem to have the illusion that side spin solves the problem. And I mean, sure, sometimes it does. But I guess I want to assert that that shouldn't be the first solution that you're looking for, right? All you should have to do is make sure that you cut the ball appropriately. Make sure that you're cutting it enough, because no matter what you do, if you're not cutting it enough, then the ball's not going to go in. And really for me, like I said, because this is just me, I know there's probably going to be some people that see this afterwards and go like, oh, you forgot about this, you forgot about that. Fine. I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'm just going to say that I disagree. Because now if I take this same shot, make sure that I know that I'm cutting it enough. And this time I'm just going to apply some bottom left spin. So notice that my bridge hand is not moving. So let me get all squared up to where like I know I'm going to make it, or I feel I'm going to make it. So right here. So watch my cue. I don't move my bridge hand. I just move down here where I'm applying bottom left. So my aim has not changed. And I spin the ball in a different direction. Right? Is it my cue? Well, I don't know. I'm going to say no because I was doing the same thing with the Arsenic cue. All right, let's try it again. So hopefully you can see it on the camera. Line ourselves up. Make sure that we're cutting the ball appropriately, which I think is about right there. And then hopefully you can see this movement that I'm doing because I'm applying top right spin. All right, my bridge hand's not moving, just my grip hand. So this is the backhand English that I like to use. Whoops. Now, did I miss because of the backhand English, or did I miss because of not aiming correctly? That's always going to be the topic of debate. So we're going to try it again. I'm going to do the same exact procedure. Let me make sure that I'm lined up, because I'm probably going to say that I wasn't lined up correctly. So, all right, I think right about there. So now hopefully you should see just my grip hands moving. And the ball goes in. So when I do experiments like that, my default answer has to be, for me, when I miss, it's because I'm not aiming correctly, because of the way that I use backhand English. And I just showed you a bottom left spin versus a top right spin. So, and I even said this in my live ghost ball lesson. When you get down to look at a shot, once you're finalized with everything and you're about to take that final stroke, you think everything you're doing is right. And you hit that cue ball hits the object ball, but you missed. So no matter what you thought was right, was wrong. As long as you have a straight stroke, you didn't have any cue ball deflection that you didn't compensate, like you pretty much label it all the way down to, well, I didn't do anything wrong. All I did was just hit the cue ball. Why did I miss the shot? You aimed incorrectly. But whatever it is you're seeing, you're thinking it's correct. So you have to change all of that. And that's why I refer to it as painting a picture in my last live stream. You have to be able to get down on a ball and look at it and go, from your perspective, when you're looking down the cue to shoot this ball into the side pocket, when you look down this cue, you're going to sit there and say to yourself, yeah, this looks right. And then you're going to shoot, and then, you're going to find out that you're wrong. So if I try to set up the same exact shot, if I had reinforcement labels, I'd put the cue ball and the 13 ball exactly where they were last time. I should be able to get down on the shot and line up the same exact picture that caused me to miss that previously I thought was right. But now I know it's wrong. So therefore, I'm going to move, paint me a whole new picture that now I have to pretty much guess, is it correct? And when I think it's correct, especially with the knowledge of, well, I undercut the ball, so that means I need to paint the picture to where I slightly adjust to my right, so that way I'm cutting it more to the left. And then I'm going to have a whole new picture, pull the trigger, and it's right. So therefore, I'm going to remember that picture. So to me, that's a lot of common mistakes. Now, does side spin help a ball go in? I mean, sure, yes, it does. I mean, I'm not gonna dispute that. But how often are you gonna have scenarios like that come up? What's an example here? Now, this is hard. This is hard because I've only got the one camera angle to work with, unless I want to plug that stuff back up. So what I'm going to try to do here is I have this set up to where the one ball is not makeable just by shooting it because the 13 ball is in the way. I have to be able to get right here in order to be able to make the ball in, and I can't because the 13 ball is in the way. So what I can try to do, and I'm not guaranteeing that this is going to work. I can try to throw a boatload of left spin to see if I can get the cue ball to swerve around the 13 ball just enough to be able to, I think someone asked in the chat before, gear the ball in. Because these balls, even though they appear to be smooth, if you were to actually look at these under a microscope, you'd actually see like that they're very tiny pronged, or I don't even know what the heck you want to call it as, because that's why when you hear that when you put right spin on the cue ball, it transfers left spin on the object ball. Just like if you put left spin on the cue ball, it transfers right spin. Well, how does that work? Well, that's how gears work, right? Think of the gears that are in a clock, right? When they're sitting there, one's going in one direction and the other one's going in another direction. That's exactly what happens with the balls here. So when I try to throw as much left spin as I can onto this object ball, because I cannot get to the contact spot that I need, then I'm going to try to gear some right spin into the one ball to hopefully allow it to come out a little bit farther and then still maybe be able to go in. So I think that looks something like this. So if I were to try to just shoot this regularly, there's no way I can make it. And I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to make this with a lot of left spin, but hopefully I will. Or at least I'll get close. Yeah, like not even close. Let me try it this way, where the 13 ball is actually near the cue ball, so that way I have more space for the ball to actually swerve. Yeah, so I can't make it from here. So I'm gonna try to. I don't want to mass say it, but I'm gonna try to slightly swerve the cue ball around the 13 ball to be able to make the one. I hit the 13 first. Let's try it again. But, that's why I said, like, how often are shots like this going to come up? I mean, they're going to come up for sure. But, I mean, if you're the person that's shooting and you're running out, you're not going to purposely put yourself in these situations. Sometimes you might accidentally put yourself in these situations. But the majority of the time, you're not going to be shooting shots like this. So I wouldn't want to try to say, like, well, because of out of 100 shots, you're going to be able to do this. So this is something you really should have to worry about. I'm actually going to tell you, why don't you focus on the other 99 shots more, so that way you don't have to worry about that 1% shot that comes up. And I'm not saying this comes up 1% of the time, I'm just throwing out that number as an example. There we go. Pretty close. Like that's probably the best that I can reproduce. So I can sit there and try it over and over again until I obviously make it. But that was the right idea, because if I don't spin the ball, if I just shoot at it, this is what it looks like. Right? It goes right into the rail. So you saw earlier where I actually spun it like right around over here. That's what the That's what the gearing / throwing effect allows you to do. So I mean, it's a useful shot when the scenario comes up. But I just don't think this scenario is going to come up enough to where you really have to worry about this shot all too much. You can obviously practice it so you can have it in your arsenal. There we go. Get in there. And I kind of bobble the ball in. So I mean that's how that works there. So I hope that makes sense. What I was trying to explain there. I hope that makes sense. It's a good shot to have in your arsenal, but I just wouldn't consider it like a key shot that you actually that you would actually need. Boss man, you're asking, is it possible to curve without a masse and the blocking ball so close to the cue ball? Well, I kind of showed that, but if the blocking ball is closer, the answer is no. Like you're going to have to masse the ball. So you saw that I had a little bit of distance between the cue ball and the object ball, so I had to just slightly go past it and allow the swerve effect of having so much spin on the cue ball that I was able to actually make the ball. And actually, here was another one. I'm going to be doing my efforts to debunk comments that I've gotten about, especially about the backhand English video. So what they were saying, because even in the backhand English video, it's probably better if I do it this way because then you'll see my grip hand. Even in the backhand English video that I did, when I was going through the break and run scenario, I showed you on the GoPro view that what I would do is line up the shot, center cue ball, and just rely strictly on the ghost ball. So hopefully you can see this because this will be the backhand English. So when I look at this and I go, yep, I'm going to make it. So therefore, I can just do this and figure out what kind of English I want to put on the ball. Let me make sure I'm going to make it, which I think I am. Put a boatload of left spin and then shoot. Right? And I spin the cue ball out like that. And then people want to sit there and say like, well, the cue ball is still deflecting and stuff, and so you must be automatically compensating, because they'll sit there and say, well, set up the shot straight in and do that, and you'll see that the cue ball moves. Okay, fine. So we're going to do that. Because what we're expecting to happen is that the cue ball is not going to stop directly in place and then spin in place. It might kind of wobble off to one side or whatever, and that's going to be indicating that the cue ball is still deflecting, even with backhand English. So I'm fairly straight, or I should be perfectly straight with this. So center cue ball, and then whatever I want to do, left or right spin. Let me make sure I'm perfectly lined up. We'll put a boatload of left spin on the cue ball. What do you want me to say? Was I automatically compensating for the cue ball deflection when I got down center to center? The cue ball didn't wobble, right? So it's, rest assured, again, I'm not saying that these people are wrong, but if I come over here and do these tests, and these are the results of my test, what other conclusion am I supposed to draw? And then on top of that, let's just say I get it to happen. Let's just say that I get the cue ball to slightly rock to one side or the other. Let's see if I can do it. Center to center. Try to be perfectly lined up. Lots of outside spin. Okay, there we go. The cue ball went off to the left. But wait a minute. I'm putting left spin on the cue ball. So if I'm putting left spin on the cue ball, shouldn't the cue ball have deflected off to the right? So if the cue ball went to the left, what went wrong? Maybe I wasn't aiming correctly. Maybe, right? Because I currently, this is a one-shot sample here, so I don't know what the conclusion would actually be. I would have to do more. But then this would be my counter. It's a straight-in shot. Why am I putting extreme amounts of side spin for a straight-in shot just to prove a point? Am I going to do that kind of a shot in a real game? No, I'm not. But as far as any cut shot that's on the table, that's what I've been showing you. You can start with just center cue ball, try to get lined up to the ghost ball, and then just start moving this guy around to apply your side spins. And I've already shown that it works. Let's take this shot. This time we're not going to do a straight in shot. Well, let's try this. I'm going to try to get it all nicely lined up. Center to center. And when I say center to center, I mean center cue ball to center ghost ball. Okay, so now I'm just going to drop my fingers. Like these are, like normally I don't do, like normally I don't start like this. Like I don't start in the center, drop down and do all that while I'm like, because when I know I'm going to put bottom left, when I get down on the cue ball, I automatically go there. All right, so I'm going through it step by step to kind of prove my point. So we start again, center to center. I have to make sure that it looks right and it feels right. This is where I'll at least go by when people say like, well, it's the feeling of it all. And then I'm going to find out if I'm right or wrong. So drop down for some bottom spin, pivot out for some left spin, and then shoot. But what more do you want me to do? Like I'm showing it to you on a live stream. What more do you want me to do? Now, some people might not be able to replicate it like that. And the only thing I could do is like I'd have to see it. I'd have to, I'd have to try to watch really closely to see what are they doing differently. Because if they're not able to produce the same results, is it the equipment or is it them? Like that would be the hard thing to determine. So let's see, Mark Kinesvetter, you're saying the deflection is still there. The cue ball is deflecting to the right enough to compensate your aim to the left to hit the center ball. If you pivot, if your pivot point is 9 to 12 inches, this will pretty much work. So 9 to 12 inches, okay. Because that was another claim about bridge length. So let's play around with bridge lengths. So we take any shot that we want. And believe me, I'm not trying to give myself like easy shots either, but I don't want to give myself terribly too hard of shots. But people were talking about like, well, does the bridge length matter? Well, here's a really nice short bridge, but I still have to make sure that I'm going to be lined up center to center first. And then when I think I am, apply some bottom right spin. Actually, that looks wrong. So if you're able to notice something's wrong, that's why you have to start back over. All right, that looks right. Bottom right spin. So that's a short bridge. Let's try a rail shot. And we'll do a high inside, we'll try to do a high inside 3 railer. So let's get these out of the way. So let's try a ridiculously long bridge. Center to center. Right, first making sure that I think everything's right. So right there, I think I'm good. So high inside. What do you want me to do? Am I just getting lucky? Or is it the cue? Like there's going to be there's always going to be this exception, because the first thing I'm going to ask is, why is there such a wide variance in your bridge when normally your bridge should be somewhere right around here? Because if you're trying to go to such extreme to prove your point, you're basically trying to create an exception to the rule, and you want the exception to be the rule. And that's not basically the case. You should always just basically follow the rule. Because normally I'm going to have my bridge length right around here, which isn't going to matter whether or not if I do left spin, right spin, or whatever. But I line up center to center, right about there, put all my left spin on the cue ball, shoot, and then I missed. Okay, fine, because that's what's going to happen. Let's try it again. Did I miss aim, or was it because of the spin? Don't know. Most of the time, I'm going to say probably because of the aim, because I'll do the same steps. There we go. I'll do the same steps and then get the desired result. So that's why, at least for me, all I'm saying is for me, most of the time my errors are going to be because of aim. Sometimes there's going to be swerve in the equation, all depending upon like how far the cue ball is away from the object ball, and that was another thing, how far the cue ball is away from the object ball, and if the swerve is going to come into effect. So if I were to try to do this shot, can I bottom left English this shot with backhand English, and do I have to worry about the swerve? Well, I don't know. Hopefully you'll be able to see the tip move. So we'll start center to center. Get all lined up, which I think is right there. So I'm going to drop my bridge hand for the bottom, pivot out for my left spin, and I think I still look good. And I overcut the ball. Got the spin. Now, did I overcut it because of what I did? Well, let's try it again. I didn't have my bridge hand on the table, so let me try that, because I actually had to drop my fingers. Let me actually have my bridge hand on, or here, let me try it with an open hand bridge, because it's easier to lower my bridge. So I think that looks good. Lower my bridge, pivot out for some left spin. And then there's the bottom left, even scratched. So again, I want to assert that anybody that says otherwise, I'm not saying you're wrong. All I can say is I cannot produce the same results. And that's why I explain it the way I explain it, and I'm at least able to get it to work. Kickshot Pool Gear, are you making some sales? You're welcome. But that's awesome. That's what I'm here for. It's actually getting hot in my garage. It's still cold outside here in Texas. I have the mini split set to keep it warm at 65, but it's actually still like relatively warm in here. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. Let's scroll up a bit and let's see what we got here. All right, so there's that comment. I see done and done Kickshot. Dusty Tables, did you buy some apparel from Kickshot Pool Gear? Ooh, Terrence Levine, you're asking about two-rail kick shots with both the cue ball and object ball off the rail. I can show that. Give me just a second. I want to see if anybody else has any questions. Okay, so I don't really see anything. Yeah, bang time. It's warm in my garage at 65 degrees. I would think it should be cool at 65 degrees. But now we're just gonna let the outside temperature cool my garage off. Okay, so two-rail kick shots with both the cue ball and the object ball off the rail. So I did a plus two-rail kicking system, so I'm just going to kind of summarize how that works first. And that is being able to kick from the side rail to a corner pocket, and actually from the same side rail over to the corner pocket. And the way that works is you label the short rail opposite from the short rail that you're going to be kicking to, starting with the opposite corner pocket as 1, halfway down is 2, halfway down is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you even say 9. The problem is you can't use 1, you can't use 9 because those are the pockets, right? You can't shoot into the pockets. What those numbers represent is how far down your cue ball will actually kick depending upon where it starts. So if I actually started here and say 1, 2, if my cue ball is on this line like this, and I hit the cue ball to that point of the rail with the correct amount of top right spin, then my cue ball should come down 1, 2 diamonds, and I should hit somewhere around in this vicinity. So if I'm in this position here and I actually want to kick 4 diamonds down, so I have the possibility of making this ball, well then I would count 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to make sure that the cue ball is on that line, starting from the diamond as if there wasn't a pocket here. So even this, that means I'm just going to move my cue ball like this. So now my cue ball is on this line. So if I use the correct amount of top right spin and kick 4, then hopefully I should be able to make the 12. Or if anything, I'm going to get a good hit, just like that. So that would be anywhere. So if I tried to put the 12 ball here and kick the same thing, because now I'm trying to kick down 3 diamonds, 1, 2, 3, like this, I should be able to hit the 12, but also I might make it. Hey, there we go. Now, because if you don't use the correct amount of speed and you don't use the correct amount of spin, just like with one rail banks and kicks, something different is going to happen. So that just takes practice to figure out how to adjust. Because I'm not going to sit there and try to figure out, well, if you hit the cue ball at 12 miles per hour, then you only have to compensate X degrees. And if you hit the cue ball at 8 miles per hour, you have to compensate for whatever degrees. Like, you'll eventually figure that part out. But the question is, well, what about if the cue ball and the object ball were like this, and you have a ball that's in the way, and you actually can't kick one rail, or you don't want to kick one rail, you want to kick 2 rails? Well, you can still use the +2 rail system if you at least know the reference. So, for example, if I knew that, I'm just picking a point that's fairly close to the cue ball. Excuse me. If I were to try to, let's just do this. If I were to try to kick here, which I obviously can't, that means my cue ball is going to come somewhere down to here. And I would have to sit there and say, well, is this track line at least going to run into the to the 10 ball? It doesn't look like it. If I were to do this, then I would go 1, 2. That means I might hit it. I don't know exactly what side. Let's see if this actually hits it. Barely misses it. Now, why did it miss? Was it because I had too much spin? Did I not hit the correct spot? Or let's see if I can produce the same result, because I'm not hitting the correct spot. Yeah, it's not the correct spot. If I'm able to produce a consistent result, then I'm obviously not hitting the correct spot. You see, I get a little bit closer and closer as I keep trying. But there's another system that you can use that doesn't require any numbers at all, and that's called the midpoint parallel shift system. And the way that works is like this. If you look at the distance between the cue ball and the ball that you want to kick at, find the halfway point, which is why I have the 2 pretty much marked at the halfway point, right about here. So from the halfway point, what you want to do is draw a line straight to the corner pocket that basically splits the 2 rails that you're planning on hitting. That's why I'm kicking this way. So you still want to use the same top right spin as you do the +2 rail kicking system. But now that you have this line, you parallel shift this line over the cue ball. And that shows you where you're supposed to hit to get a pretty full hit on the 10 ball. So earlier you saw that I was hitting here and I was kicking short, which shows you that even the +2 rail kicking system works. You just have to do a little bit more calculations, a little bit more estimations. But at least with the midpoint parallel shift system here, once I shift over, I'm going to try to kick here. I'm going to use the same amount of top right spin as if I was using the +2 rail kicking system, and hopefully I should get a good hit on the 10. Almost even made it. But then after that, because now we're going to talk about what kind of millimeter adjustments am I going to make. Am I going to hit here versus am I going to hit here versus am I going to hit here? How much spin am I actually going to put on the ball? How hard am I actually going to hit the ball? So let's try this. Let's see if I can get this to work. So I'm always going to use another object ball to kind of represent the midpoint between the 2. So I think that's it there. So if I draw straight over to here, and then if I can straight parallel shift over, it's roughly the same spot. Let's see if I can hit the 10. See? At the very least, that's what you're going to want to do, is hit the ball. That way you're not committing a foul. And so that's why you can even use it. You can either use the +2 rail kicking system, or you can use the midpoint parallel shift system. So here, I would know the midpoint is basically here since I'm stuck between 4 diamond links. So if I were to start here and then go straight across like this and get the ball out of the way, and then try to parallel shift over to the cue ball, Look where I end up. Pretty much right where the +2 rail kicking system would take you. Because remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the +2 rail kicking system brought me here, and the midpoint parallel shift system brought me here. Uh-oh. Barely missed it. Barely missed it. Like I said, so now I got to sit there and tweak. Like, do I hit a little bit over here? Do I hit a little bit over there? And then, of course, environmental conditions are going to come into play. What if you have a dead rail, right? The systems don't take those things into account, right? These systems are designed to work under good conditions. I think that makes it. There we go. And I make the ball. So I hope that answers your question. Sujan Tulachan, I really hope I said that correctly. If you practice on 9-foot tables, now tournaments are nothing on 7-foot tables. How do you adjust? Well, an angle is an angle is an angle is an angle, right? Just because the distance is longer doesn't change the angle. The only thing that really changes is how hard you're going to hit the ball, because there's either more real estate that the ball has to travel, or there's less real estate that the ball has to travel. One thing I do like to say, though, is that when you're playing on 9-foot tables, you have to be more accurate because the ball is traveling farther. You still have to have, like, some sense or some same degree of accuracy when you're playing on a smaller table, but the angles don't change. So the only thing that should roughly change is you're just hitting the cue ball probably a little bit softer, because the object balls and the cue ball don't have much distance to travel. That would be the primary adjustment that I would probably make. Jason Robinson, I'm sorry. Could you show how to cut the ball? You've only been playing pool for about 6 months. A few pointers would be appreciative. Check out my recent video that I just published. I did a live ghost ball lesson. And I did that on a previous live stream, actually, and it pretty much shows you how I use the ghost ball. So I'm guessing you must have joined a little bit late, because earlier I was demonstrating a bunch of different shots, showing how I use what's referred to as backhand English to be able to apply side spin on the cue ball and still be able to make the ball. Wait, what? There's a super chat? Oh, holy cow. MDU 2112. $1 per Honolulu ball you make. 8 ball per rack, 2 racks. $5. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. What is Honolulu ball? Let me go ahead and Google that. Honolulu pool. Okay, let's see what this is. Banks? Really? Also known as banks, as kisses and combinations, and as indirect, in a call shot pocket billiards game in which player. Here, let me do this. Let's switch this to this and say okay, and then pop it up. So let's zoom this in. All right. So Honolulu, also known as banks, as kisses and combinations, as indirect, is a call shot pocket billiard game in which a player must pocket all shots in an indirect fashion to reach a set number of points. According to the Billiard Congress of America, the governing body for billiards in the United States, Honolulu presents players with an unending kaleidoscope of strategic and shot-making challenges. So that basically sounds like bank pool. And in bank pool, you typically use just 9 balls out of the rack. Does Honolulu use all 15 balls? I'm very familiar, at least, with bank pool. So you can't do a rail first kick shot. By rail first kick shot, do you mean a ticky shot? Because if I go from corner pocket to corner pocket and kick one rail halfway in between, does that shot count? And what I mean by ticky shot, let me turn this off.
First to 8 points, so that sounds like you're using the entire rack. Are you saying this kind, not saying that I'm going to make it, but are you saying this kind of shot does not count? If I do a one rail kick shot like this, and I made it, haha. But you're saying that doesn't. Are you saying that doesn't count? And my question is, well, does this one rail kick shot count? If I were to do this instead, am I going to hit that one? Oh, I barely missed that one. Would that kick shot count? But the first one doesn't count. Is that what you're saying? Oh, boss man, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. Ah, okay, so cool. Okay, well, like I said, that sounds like bank pool. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll at least do 9-ball bank pool. Let's see how many innings it takes me to do 9-ball bank pool. Because I'm gonna have to bank every ball in. And at least in 9-ball, I think it's first to 5 because you have to be able to win the majority of the rack. So, but in bank pool, you can shoot the balls in any order. So I'm not really going to break all that hard since I'm using my tuxedo. All right, so let's look around and see. I just can't shoot a ball directly into the pocket. I don't really have any decent opening bank shots to take. See if I can get the magic rack out of the way. It looks like the 8-ball is on it. So I'm just going to lift it up so I can scoop this out. All right, so let's see if I can bank a few balls in, huh? And if I remember correctly, the balls have to be banked cleanly or it's a call shot. So like if I were to try to bank the 8-ball, I don't remember if I have to call it off the 2 to go in. But I do think there are some rules that stipulate that it has to be done cleanly. So if I'm going to do a clean bank shot, let me try to cross-cut bank the 7-ball. All right, so there's 1. Give me a bank shot on the 5. Nope, never mind. Maybe I can cross bank the 8-ball. Let's have a look there. 8-ball cross side pocket. There's 2. I don't think the well, never mind. That's a terrible bank angle to try that at. So maybe I can try to bank the 6. And if y'all are wondering what I'm doing, check out my most recent bank video. This is the measuring system that I'm using to bank all these in. Basically, what I'm doing is I draw a line with my eyes from the ball that I'm going to bank straight to the rail. I take the butt of my cue so I can draw a line that goes from the rail, the point of the rail, to the pocket. Then from the object ball that I'm going to bank, I draw another line to the pocket opposite that I'm going to bank to. And then where these 2 lines cross, which looks approximately right around here, I go straight to the rail. And that tells me that if I bank the 6-ball right there at that rail at the correct speed, it should come pretty close to the side pocket. Oh, barely missed that one. So that point's not going to count. I don't know the rules well enough to know if that ball gets spotted or not. But as an exhibition here, I'm just going to keep on going. So now here it looks like I might have a natural 3-rail bank shot to try to come over here into the corner pocket. Oh, never mind. Where's this guy going? Cool. I'll have to remember that route. And that's another thing that I like to do in practice is every time I make a mistake, I take note of the mistake because I just discovered what was that? That was a 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a 5-rail bank shot to go into the corner pocket. See if I can cross bank the 3. Nope, banked it wide. What else can I do? Try a couple more shots. I don't know if I can cheat bank the 9 ball here. I have to make sure I pass the 5 ball and then shorten the outbound angle off of the rail here. I don't think this is possible. I'm just trying it. Oh, it is possible. I got it to work. Never mind. No, I didn't. I thought it was supposed to go in. But yeah, that would at least be bank pull. But I guess for Honolulu, you have to use all 15 balls. And it looks like, and it's the first to 8. So that's pretty cool. Whew. Okay. How's everybody doing? Play 3 ball? You want to see how quickly I can try to make 3 ball? Oh, heck. So just as much as I'm helping kick shot pool gear out, then what I'm going to do for the 3 ball attempt is I'm going to show you a 3 ball racking template from Outsville. I do have a discount code with them as well. Check the description of the live stream. So that way you don't have to use a regular rack. You can actually have a template rack for 3 ball. Even Dr. Dave has a really good video on 3 ball to where you can like actually hit this and make a ball or something. I don't know how to do that. Ha! Maybe I just guessed correctly. Because I also see that the 1 ball almost banked over here into the side pocket. So that might be something taking note of. Let's see if I can make this a 3. That's 2 strokes. Oh gosh, I thought I missed that. That's 3 strokes. So sometimes I'm actually appreciative how I can do these things on the first try. Well, let's see if I can do that again. So is the 3 ball going to go 4 rails around? Is that what happened? Because I basically broke this like I would a 9 ball rack. I try to hit it, hit the rack like it's a 9 ball rack. Yeah, that's what the 3 ball's doing. So there's a known route, right? When you study the breaks long enough, that's when you start noticing these things. Since I break from here, the ball that's here in this corner goes 4 rails around and possibly falls here into the corner pocket. So let's see if this. I'm going to shoot these in numerical order. So let's see if I can go up and down table for the 2. And for giggles and grins, I'm going to try to make both of these at the same time. Let's see here. Nope, I don't think I want to do that. Oh, come on! almost, almost. So there's a 4. Right, so that's 3 ball. All right, try to make 3 balls in the least amount of strokes. So trying to play both of those on that last shot would be ideal. So that way I end up scoring a 3 instead of a 4. 4 is going to be a very common thing, especially if you don't make a ball on the break, because then you just want to, because even your break shot is considered a stroke, and so therefore you have 3 balls left on the table, so you're going to end up with a minimum of 4. But if you're able to make 2 balls at once, then that obviously cuts down the stroke count. Danks 9000, how do you deal with lower players not being able to grasp simple instructions during timeouts? Well, first and foremost, if it's during a timeout, that means they're on my team. So when I have players on my teams, we make sure that it's very clear that when timeouts are happening, that we basically have a discussion. Because what I've learned over the times is I don't just do a timeout where I just come to the table and go, "This is what I want you to do." Because I've learned over time that sometimes players get offended when you do that, because even when you call a timeout, it's mostly because you, as the viewer, you probably have no clue what your player is about to do, or you're afraid they're about to do something wrong, so you call a timeout. And then sometimes I end up finding out when I approach the table, like, they already have a plan. And sometimes it's an okay plan. Sometimes it's a plan that they have no reason to try to execute, So, but nonetheless, they have something in mind, and they kind of feel slightly offended that a timeout's being called on them, and then they'll kind of resist the instructions. And so, what I've done to get around that helps get around that, people understand that when we call timeouts, they're always meant to help, right? They're not, that's it. Like, we're coming to help. There's no reason for you to get upset when we're coming to help. Even if even if you have an idea of what you're going to do, assistance is coming. So there's no reason to get upset. But when we call timeouts, the first thing we do is we ask the player, "What are you thinking about?" And so if they're able to explain something, cool, because then what happens is we will explain and I say we because I'm not the only person that calls timeouts. I have 6s and I have 5s that are qualified to call timeouts now, because they think pretty much the way that I do. Or sometimes what I'll end up doing is, like, if I have a 5 that's my next highest player, I'll say, "Get ready to call a timeout, and this is what I want you to explain to them," and I'll send them to go do the timeout, so that way other people get experience coaching other players and stuff. So that way I'm not the only resource of information. So when we ask, what are you thinking about doing? If they say, "Well, I was thinking about doing this," well, then we have to explain all the pros and cons of being able to do that, especially if it doesn't match up with the suggestion that we're coming to the table with, because then we explain the option that we have in mind, and explain all the pros and cons of what to do of that choice instead. And then we allow the player to choose. We don't tell the player what to do. We give them 2 options, because that's usually what the player is lacking, knowing what all of their options are when they come to the table. And they're usually just zoned in on one specific thing, like the straight in shots, like, or a ball that's so close to the pocket, or this, whatever. And sometimes those obvious shots are not the best correct shots that can actually lead to running the rack, winning the game, or doing whatever. And so that way, now that the player is informed of 2 options, they make a free choice of either doing what they originally planned, or doing what is suggested of the coach that actually did the timeout. So no matter what, they're the ones that are making the free choice, because there's that comical argument of when you used to go to the table and say, "This is what I want you to do," and if the player messes up, it's the coach's fault, right? The player never holds themselves accountable that they might have messed something up. It's just that, well, the coach said to do this. I did what the coach said to do, so it must be their fault that I messed up because it was wrong. Like, it's a possibility that what the coach suggested was wrong, but it's also very possible that you didn't execute what the coach asked you to execute. So, like I said, when we give the player the option to have a choice between two options, then sometimes they will take accountability based on the decisions that you. Sometimes it's still comical. Well, I tried what you suggested, it just didn't work. I'm like, well, that probably means you didn't do it right, or maybe I pointed on the rail the wrong way. Like if I'm trying to coach you to do a kick shot or something, maybe I pointed somewhere on the rail wrong, or maybe you didn't hit the point, or maybe you didn't hit the part that I said. Maybe you accidentally put side spin. These are the things that I always ask my players. Like, whenever mistakes are made, what was the reason that caused the mistake? It's not just because you missed. So obviously, if you miss, the one of the obvious answers is because you aimed incorrectly. But then there's usually fine details in between all of that probably fix that. And so that's why I said earlier in my live stream that if you can eliminate all the variables of what causes you to miss, cue ball deflection, whatever, speed, something, and the real reason why you missed was because of your aim, well, then now you can fix the foundational reason as to why you missed, and then try to add all the special effects that you want to do afterwards. But that's pretty much how we do timeouts. Sean Horner, you're saying break diamond, diamond, medium hit, withdraw for 3-ball. What do you mean? You have to be a little bit more specific. So what do you mean by diamond, diamond? I'm not sure about that. Oh, Ron Williamson. There is a way to make all 3 balls on the break. I mean, I kind of figured as much like I said, if I study the rack hard enough and figure out precisely where to hit that 1 ball and where to hit the cue ball and how hard to hit the cue ball, and I start bending those predictable paths to go towards the pockets, like I'll eventually figure it out. It's just something that I don't normally spend time with, because usually, like when we play 3-ball at the pool hall, we put all 3 balls in a straight line, because that makes it just a little bit harder just to be able to, to pull a ball in, or to break a ball in. Mark Kinesvatter, you see, you always try to ask your player what they're thinking, so that's cool. And if you disagree with them, then you give them a safety option and a shot option. Always let them know that there's a choice when the timeout is done. Yeah, exactly. I forgot to mention, like, sometimes it depends, like, especially, like, sometimes my players know that they need to call a timeout. Like when they're not entirely sure what to do on the shot. Like there's no clear shot. Like they're on the 8-ball, or they're on or they're on the 9-ball for a 9-ball game, and they just don't know what to do, because the obvious answer is going to be maybe to bank it, or whatever. But then, or let's say it's 8-ball and they're on their next to last ball, or 2 balls left on the table before the 8-ball, and they're like, what do I do? Sometimes the questions that I ask are like, well, do you want to be a hero? Meaning that I'm gonna coach you through like a super shot, like a shot that you have to do everything correctly for it to work. It's like, or do you want to play some sort of safety? Sometimes they answer safety. Sometimes they're like, no, let's be a hero. And it's so funny for me sometimes, because like once I get done coaching them through all the little details of line up this way, and that's when I'll even instruct them about how to use backhand English. I was like, but slowly pip your arm to do this, give them all these little details, show them where to hit, break it all down, walk away from the table, they hit it, and they nail it. And when they nail the shot exactly the way that I coached them through, I normally will shout throughout the entire pool hall over everybody in the pool, because the whole pool hall will hear me. So I shout over everybody and the jukebox, shut the front door, which is euphemism for you should know what. But when I do that, like everybody freaks out, like what happened? And because they don't realize that I can shout that loud. And it's exciting, especially when I get my skill level 2s and my skill level 3s to do, like, this is a 1 in 10 opportunity, or 1 out of 100 opportunity that they can actually do this. But if they can follow the instructions almost to the T, the results are going to happen. And when they happen, oh boy, do I get excited. I get excited for my players. I just get I make sure the team gets excited. Like all of us, we just get super excited. I just shout at the top of my lungs, like, oh my gosh, it worked. Old man Ferguson, you didn't know that the coach is always wrong. I learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way. Oh, you're saying first diamond, bottom rail, second diamond. So you're saying break from the box, break from the box, withdraw. Okay, I see what you're saying there. I can probably give that a try off camera. My live stream's almost going on 3 hours here. I think that's when I'm probably going to cut it. Let's see. What do we got here? Sumit Saha. I hope I said that correctly. Hello, Chris. I always try to watch your videos. I've learned a lot from your videos, especially the one rail bank and kick. The video you published about 2 or 3 years ago. Keep up the good works. Hey, man, I really do appreciate that. Let's see. What else is up here? Okay, that goes back up to Danks 9000's questions about timeouts. Oh, boss man, you need a code for Outsville. So, like I said, check the description of this live stream because I do have a discount code for Outsville as well. And it's the same thing. You can get 10% off of your purchase. How's it going, Chuck Brown? Jack Weston. Don't say that on a plane. Don't say what? Don't say shut the front door on a plane. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Good live stream, dude. Have a good night and good luck getting to 100. Stop counting the balls, though. It adds pressure. Add them up after the run and always play position on 2 balls. Best of luck. Hey, I do appreciate that. I'm still learning. All the tidbits about straight pull. My practice sessions have been getting a little bit better. I'm starting to get to the second rack more often, which is good. That shows me a good consistent process or progress. So the thing that I would have to say that is probably still my weakest is just the pattern selection. I do try to identify the break ball, the key ball, and the lead ball if the rack is completely open. Because if it isn't, then I'm more concerned about developing the rack before I'm concerned about developing break ball, key ball, lead ball. So it just really depends. But I'm able to make shots because I'm a decent shot maker and I'm decent at controlling my cue ball. But I've come to learn, at least with straight pull, my pattern selection really needs a lot more work. Well, all right. So, like I said, this live stream is almost going to be 3 hours long. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes long. Terrence Levine, you're saying thanks for the 2-rail demo. You're going to go to work. You're going to work it tomorrow. Now that the lockdown is over, awesome. Congrats for 75K. Well deserved. The content is always top shelf. I really do appreciate that, Terrence. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. So I'm going to end this live stream with a reminder of how this is going to work. When this live stream cuts off, this video should be available almost immediately, or maybe I don't exactly know how YouTube works in regards to when the live stream ends and when it's available to publicly watch. It should almost be immediate. But once this live stream ends, everybody that's here, if you want a chance at being able to win the package that I'm giving away, then you need to come back to the live stream, comment on the live stream, give it a thumbs up if you haven't given it a thumbs up yet, and obviously make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and then make sure that your subscription list is public. So like I said, in about a month at max, I'm going to go live again and randomly select one of the comments out of the comment section there. And when I select that comment, I'm going to check out the YouTube channel to see if I can see the subscription list. Because if I can't see the subscription list, then I'm going to pick another comment. If I see the subscription list and I don't see that I'm in the subscription list, I'm going to pick another comment. So as long as the subscription list is public and I see that I'm in the subscription list, you will be the winner. So this has nothing to do with view counts or anything like that. I'm just giving a time frame so that people can hopefully discover this this live stream, and I will make sure that I timestamp everything appropriately with like the instructions on how to, be qualified to be selected, et cetera, et cetera. So that way no one's going to sit through a 2.5-hour live stream to go, well, how do I win? How do I win? How do I win? So they can jump to the instructions and then be able to figure it all out. And that way, people can just have time to be able to, to be eligible to win. In the meantime, we're just going to have more videos to be published. I'm going to be doing more live stream attempts. I will say this though. Let me also do this because I now have 2 giveaways going at the same time. Because I also have a giveaway for a Predator BK Rush Jump Brake Q. I did a product review on it, and I'm going to pin it in the comment section here. Predator BK Rush Jump Brake Q giveaway. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to pin this comment. So the way this giveaway works, though, is that product review video, I want that product review video to get 25,000 views before I randomly select a comment. Why? Because I paid $650 of my own money to get that cue so that way I can put it here on my YouTube channel, review it, and then give it away to a subscriber. So I can honestly tell you that 25,000 views isn't even going to pay for the cue. Because if I go look at one of my old product review videos that has over 20,000 views, for example, one of my original J-Flower cues that I reviewed. I have a J-Flower cue that I reviewed on August 15, 2021. It has 33,511 views. Let's see how much money I've made off of that video. I've made $395.75 off of that video with over 30,000 views. So 25,000 views isn't even going to pay for the BK Rush, but somebody's going to win it. But I also have to make sure that that video does get to 25,000 views within a reasonable time. I don't want to hold on to the queue forever. So what ends up happening is if I can't get that video to reach 25,000 views in a reasonable time, I'm still going to give the queue away because I have no reason to keep it unless I'm going to sell it. But I'm not in a position where I can sell it now because I've already presented it to everybody that I'm going to give the queue away. But the way this works, though, is if I give the queue away and I take a significant loss on it, well, then I can't do giveaways like that anymore, right? I can't take loss after loss after loss after loss because I'm not going to be able to afford that over the time. So if that ends up happening, then what my future giveaways are going to be is that you're going to have to purchase raffle tickets. So think of the big difference. Here, you get to watch a video, comment, like, I get to borrow 15 to 20 minutes of your time for the chance for you to be able to win a free product, but so do hundreds of other people. So now if I give you the option to purchase raffle tickets, and that's the other thing too, you might be able to increase the odds of you winning because if you purchase more raffle tickets, fine. Because in the current format that I do this stuff where I randomly select one unique comment, because putting in multiple comments does not increase your chance of winning. Because the program that I use, the third-party program that I use, only picks one unique comment from the commenter. So if I go down the raffle ticket route, where you have to purchase raffle tickets, like you'll have to send me a PayPal or a Venmo or something, and then I'll keep this spreadsheet of all the usernames of people that have sent me donations to buy the raffle tickets. Well, now you have to invest your own money. So to me, it kind of sucks to invest your own money. Let's say like you purchase $100 worth of raffle tickets, and then somebody purchased $10 worth of raffle tickets, and they end up being the lucky winner. Well, you're $100 invested with nothing to show for it. But that might be the route that I have to take, because I don't want to be the one to have to take loss after loss after loss after loss. So if we're able to get this product review video, for the Predator BK Rush Jump Brake Cue, up to 25,000 within a reasonable time frame, well then I can continue to do giveaways like that, where all I'm doing is just borrowing your time. Because I'm not, if I go down the raffle ticket route, I'm not going to be borrowing your money, because that means I'm giving it back. Well, that's not going to be the case, because then that way I'm trying to use the YouTube ad revenue to help pay for the product. That doesn't have to be fully paid for. I don't expect that, but it helps pay for the product, and it helps pay for the shipping, especially if I have to ship international, because I pay for all of that. That's why I've done it currently the way that I've done it, to where it's absolutely free for everybody, but it does cost me money to be able to produce it. So therefore, I would like to make a little bit of money back, and it would be super awesome if I can actually make a profit. But if I end up taking a significant loss, then I'm definitely going to have to look for a did I what Oh, you're saying put the word giveaway in the title of the BK Rush. I guess I can do that. The thumbnail of that video has giveaway in the upper right-hand corner, but it's relatively small. So you have to like look for it. And really, when you think about it, that's why I construct the video the way that I do, to where the announcement of the giveaway is at the end, so you've watched the whole thing. That's the gamble. Like any content creator is taking the gamble that the viewer is basically going to watch their video to its entirety. So like for me, it's formulated to where, like, if you make it to the end of my video, listen, I'm actually giving the cue away. So actually adding the word giveaway to the title, that I mean, I can certainly go down that route. I've done it before on previous giveaways. So if I decide to change the thumbnail, because I've changed the thumbnail to that video already once. So if I decide to change it again, then I can certainly add the word giveaway in the title of that one. But I hope what I'm saying is making sense, right? It's like I'm not trying to get rich off of giving this stuff away, but I don't want to lose a significant amount of money, because I think this is kind of cool. I like being able to get my hands on this equipment. I like being able to test out the equipment. And mind you, I always like to say this, that not every product review that I do is going to have a giveaway attached to it. If I were to review my tuxedo cue, I'm not giving that away, but I can certainly review it. I can break down the specs, put it through all the same tests that I've done everything else. But if I do a giveaway on some sort of product review, then I get the satisfaction of knowing that someone that might have wanted that cue has the opportunity to get it, and I was the person that supplied it to them. Like, to me, so that's a good feeling. Like I said, it's with the giveaway that I'm doing now, because of all the support that I have from 75,000 plus of y'all. Like, this is my way of showing you the appreciation, because the money that I do make off of YouTube goes right back into my show. I now have a nice new laptop in here, so that way I don't have to go back and forth between here in my office to take my recorded footage back into the video editing software. I have nice webcams all set up in here, so that way I can do all the stuff that you saw me do live. I've got this nice microphone here, so I can have good, clean, crisp audio. Like, all of the stuff that I've gotten here is because of everything that I've learned and earned from having this YouTube channel. Stan Schweier, you're asking about the shirt. It says, what does it say? Break first, break hard, no mercy. As opposed to strike first, strike hard, no mercy. So this is a play on, this is a pool-related shirt, which is a play on for the Cobra Kai season here. So that if you just joined this channel, this shirt comes from Kickshot Pool Gear. I don't know if he's still here in the live chat, but it's basically it's a pool apparel website. If you look at the description in the description of the live stream, there's a link to the kickshotpoolgear.com website, and I also have a discount code that you can put in so that way you can get 10% off of your purchase. And then plus, there's a bunch of other pool-related shirts that are on there. Some of them are pretty funny because I demonstrated all of those earlier in the live stream. Yeah, Kickshot Pool Gear is still here in the live chat. So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to cut it for the night. I want to personally thank all of y'all for being here. I kind of really liked all of this. This was all a lot of fun. You know, going through the live stream, you got to see me set up a camera on the fly and go through all the tests. Some of the tests I successfully did on the first attempt, and some of the tests I didn't do successfully on the first attempt. That's called me being a human. I think that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun tonight. So yeah, like I said, this live stream will sit for about a month, and then that's when I will announce who the winner is. So in the meantime, everybody have a good night. Take care of yourself, and then just stay tuned for the next time I go live for some more straight pool. Have a good night, everybody.